Today I have a good friend of mine, Chris Rossi, who is in Denver, Colorado right now, I believe. So we have an out-of-state guest for today, and he's here to talk about his passion for pickleball, how he got into the sport, and how his business INSTADINK is going to contribute to not only the pickleball community and just contribute to everyone's wellness, but also why it can serve as an advantage for some of the pros who are looking to get an edge in that regard. So Chris, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into pickleball?
Yes, thanks for having me, Austin. I appreciate it very much.
Of course.
You are the GOAT when it comes to health and wellness, and I feel very lucky to be able to share my message here with you. So, as my journey is very simple. I mean, it's my background is both my parents were phys ed teachers, physical education teachers. I was a two-sport college athlete and just always loved sports in every way. And then I kind of took the route after college sports. I went to Wall Street and worked in finance for 10 years. And along that path, you kind of, it's work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. And over time, there's a lot of in New York City, you're going out a lot and doing things. And I was still playing softball, golf, playing in a soccer league, and weighing a lot of different things at once. And this is just the prelude to pickleball. But I kind of had an aha moment where my parents were so big into health and wellness, and I'm sitting there, working hard, but then not eating that well, going out a lot. And I eventually, I don't want to make a long story longer, but my parents introduced me to pickleball after they retired, and I was like, this is an amazing sport. This is so fun. And I thought it was just a Rossi thing. And then I moved to Denver, Colorado 4 or 5 years ago, and I decided to quit drinking alcohol for a year. And that was because I'd learned so much about the brain and how many things that it could potentially affect your brain from alcohol and your diet. And I was on my own soul searching venture to find the right vitamins and supplements and different things to help my mental edge. But at the same time, I had tons of experience. I dislocated my ankle playing soccer. I've been injured in so many different capacities that I kind of started to recognize that I needed to change something. I was 35 years old and really was on this journey to become healthy, the healthier version of myself. So I quit drinking and started playing pickleball every day. And it was just a game changer. And it was a hobby like everybody else. It was activity. It was so fun. It was competitive. You get to meet new people. You get challenged. But along those lines, it was a hobby for the first 4 or 5 months. And I loved it. And I thought it was just a unique thing that, a bunch of people like doing. However, I noticed how unbelievably addicting it was for so many other people. And I had this aha moment where what I had learned about the brain with dopamines and GABA and glutamate, how much pickleball had almost a precursor to all those positive things you need as far as resources, but you also need competition, focus, living in the present moment, which pickleball allows you to do. And I recognized 6 months in a vast amount of benefits that pickleball provided besides the social and the fun. This was an emotional and physical, benefit for society. And after dealing with a bunch of injuries, tennis elbow, pulled my calf, pulled my hamstring, and a bunch of other people starting to do that, I started to just start sharing some basic vitamins and supplement solutions to people, testing a lot myself, and recognizing that all the information that was out there for pickleball players was all product-based and competition-based. And there was a lot of other value-added products or resources or practices we could start to do to really improve our game on and off the court. So that's a long-winded background on really where I got brought into this whole game.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing. It's really interesting to hear everybody's unique background, but I tend to find people who are now in the wellness industry in some capacity, whether it's related to pickleball or not, it's a lot of times because they had a health crisis or some kind of emotional struggle and they hit rock bottom in some way. And then they looked for solutions, they looked for a way out, and maybe they had a mentor or somebody who showed them about some kind of healing modality or whatnot, but sometimes it takes things falling apart so that new things can be reborn and beautiful things can just come from it. And I think one of those beautiful things is INSTADINK. So just kind of transitioning into how INSTADINK was born and that idea, can you share a little bit about what this passion project is and where do you see it going, especially in the pickleball world?
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, really, it was created because I was having such good results from a lot of different solutions I was using, and I was like, I need to share this stuff. And it wasn't just for me. I mean, yes, I had a bias towards the solutions working for me, and I then started to share these solutions with other people to try and to see what their opinion was of these things. And after years, literally, of just testing different solutions, vitamins and supplements, really just basic nutritional things, because as my body, what I recognized, I was playing so often, my body was breaking down, and that's where the injuries occurred. So it was, a little lack of preventative health, prehabbing, and then I was always rehabbing. Instead of rehabbing all the time, I was sick of it and dealing
Mhm.
with injuries and taking time off, that I just really was on a search for solutions, which I had already done for my brain for the alcohol, concerns. And as I started sharing these solutions and people were really, really benefiting from them, I just noticed that I needed to bring this to everybody. Like, my goal is to, Zig Ziglar's quote, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything you want in life.
Mhm.
And that is kind of where it was born, was like, yes, I'm a really competitive player. I also realized I wasn't going to be a pro. I played soccer and baseball in college. I loved pickleball, but I saw this sport evolving, and people like you that are 6'6" and a beast, I can't really compete with that. But I did have a value to share with the community.
Yeah.
Um, and that's really the premise of InstaDink, is we just look for valuable solutions to share and test. It's a subscription box where every quarter you don't just get one or two products, you get a couple different products every quarter that you can try and test, that we've had other people test that have been a solution for them. And where that premise came is, everyone was focused on pickleball, which we still see now. Over the last 4 years, with this explosive growth of pickleball, the main products are all pickleball specific materials, the performance enhancing products that people could utilize for their overall health. That they could benefit from pickleball, their pickleball play is going to benefit, but their overall well-being is really, pickleball transformed their life, which it transformed and changed my life. And our goal is to have that transformation continue to go in the positive direction by just educating you about why these things are needed, and then how they can benefit you, and then what is what products benefit you the most. And everyone's different. We're all about individual solutions. So rather than saying this is best for you, every quarter we're going to introduce new basic products and have you test them, see if they benefit you, and then um, you decide which is best for you.
I love it, and it's just created out of this amazingly genuine and authentic altruistic attitude that you had, just really trying to help as many people as you can. And I know we talk on a regular basis, and your goal is to help over 1 billion people. And yeah, somebody may say that's a lofty goal, but it's definitely possible, right? Because when you are coming from a place of intention like that, you're going to attract people who will help you achieve those goals, because it's usually not something that is just going to be achieved with just one person. It really takes an army in a lot of ways. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about this addiction that people have to pickleball. And some people may say it's a healthy addiction, but I think it's important to be mindful of the wear and tear that any sport, not just pickleball, puts on your body. and how INSTADINK is almost like a shotgun approach where it's giving you a lot of the building blocks that can support that healthy addiction. I mean, obviously, you need to rest and not play every day for like 6 hours. That's usually not a great idea if you want to have longevity and not get hurt. But I think InstaDink is a wonderful thing for just amateur rec players where they, like you said, they can experiment and see what really works for them. But if they're taking things like essential amino acids and a lot of vitamins and minerals and electrolytes, they're going to be covering a lot of their bases, and they're going to be giving their bodies the building blocks that they may not be getting just from food alone. And I know that's a whole separate discussion, supplements versus how much can you get from food. But can you just talk about how Instading is almost like this shotgun approach where there's so much in the box, and maybe you could talk a little bit about the contents and how it can support this addiction in a way, but not in a counterproductive way. And just as a disclaimer, it's not an excuse to just go play 12 hours a day, even though maybe you could and have tons of energy, but please don't.
Yeah, no, it's well, I guess to kind of take a step back and just almost the bigger picture, just like fundamental. I don't want to say problem, but it's a healthy problem. But pickleball is so fun, and it's not that, it isn't that strenuous. If you can't like go all out unless you're playing singles. Problem is you can, the old cliche, one more game. Everybody used to tell me one more game, one more game. You can be sore and play the game. You can have a slightly pulled calf and keep playing. You can have a tennis elbow coming on and keep playing. And what happened is like once these injuries, you'd play and play and play, and then I would be like, I got to take 4 days off, or then I had to take 3 weeks off when I got tennis elbow, and my emotional health got affected because I didn't have that physical ability to play the sport that helped my really balancing of my emotions and everything, and my positive and what I see, and I have a pretty good network of friends. I have a pretty big outlet of different hobbies I like to do, and then I see how pickleball was literally transforming people's lives. So many people had never played sports before, were retired, they lost a spouse, they went through a divorce, their children moved out of the house, and pickleball was their happiness. That's where their main focus was. And for them to not be able to do that was like, and I have potential solutions and people that I can help share information to help them not have to take a month or two off like I did. Like majority of almost everything I introduce or recommend is something that I've taken or want to take or needed to take or know someone that it really helped. Because like you said, the biggest risk of playing all the time and loving this sport is then doing it too much and then not being able to do it. You keep doing it so long and you get plantar fasciitis because you don't get new shoes or you don't do stretches accordingly, and you kind of push through it for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden you tear your plantar fasciitis. You're out for a while. You got to get on the mend with the physical side, but at the same time you're dealing with that mental part of your life is now not available. And that's what that's not going to happen. It's inevitable. There's going to be injuries. I know I'm going to do it. That's the same thing with like eyewear. People are saying, should I wear eyewear? In the next 3 years, there's a good chance you won't get hit in the eye. But if you do play this sport for 30 years and you have millions of situations, eventually you're going to get hit in the eye. And I'm just more of a risk manager more than anything. We have these major rewards, and the more rewards we get, there's more risks that come into that. And my goal is to just limit those risks. You can't eliminate them, but just limit them and let people know that sometimes you got to, take a step back to make sure you can take those 3 steps forward and not just always push forward.
Yeah, that's huge. And just to summarize, I love how you mentioned how pickleball really is such a therapeutic tool for a lot of people in that emotional, mental, and spiritual way. And if they're not taking care of their bodies and doing the extra things like taking supplements and eating good and stretching and exercising and mobility and all those things, it can actually make you lose that wonderful therapeutic tool that helps you in so many other ways beyond the physical. So I think doing extra things like having an INSTADINK box and having the guesswork taken out because you're getting a lot of the general building blocks like essential amino acids and electrolytes and other things like that. So you don't have to worry that, oh, if I'm too active, then I'm gonna get hurt and I'm gonna lose this. Obviously, you need to listen to your body. Like you said, if you feel like tennis elbows coming on or you're just getting some of these repetitive injuries, I think it's always good to take a break from any sport because you want to move your body in different ways. If you're moving joints through the same range of motion over and over again without doing any kind of like prehab or strengthening around that, I think that's a lot of times where injuries are created. But we're not trying to make people worry. We're just trying to educate you and help you understand that, look, pickleball has such an addictive potential. Like Chris was talking about, things like dopamine are released. It's very social. You have oxytocin being released. So your brain is telling you on all cylinders, play, play, play as much as you can, especially when you first start playing, because you're making friends and all those lovely things. So it's just about understanding that, yes, it's a fun game that can be healthy, but what are the things I can do to support myself so that I can use this game, this wonderful game that brings me lots of joy as a therapeutic tool, not only now and when I'm competing in tournaments, but also even if you're not competing in tournaments, just down the road in your 70s and 80s and 90s, we're talking about longevity here. And that's one of the main things I see with InstaDink and just all these wellness brands that are getting into the pickleball space is how can we maximize longevity, not just of pro careers, but also just the ability for people to play this amazing game because it just brings so many people so much joy.
I know you made me realize like what I didn't touch on is it inevitable when we play this much and I don't want people to get upset with themselves like, oh, I'm just old and I'm out of shape. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sore. Oh, I'm weak. Oh, I need to work out more. Oh, I should have been stronger. Oh, I used to be able to do that.
Yes.
If you're 20 or you're 30 or you're 40 or 100, if you're an athlete if you're playing sports for 2, 3, 4 hours continuously, your body is using up resources
More so.
that it needs to physically play and mentally play. Hydration is just the core. If you don't drink water, you're gonna get fatigued. You're gonna get a cramp. You're gonna get if you just don't do water. So that's just a basic resource. But really, how InstaDink originally, like where it really was this aha, was B12. You look at these other vitamins, vitamin D and vitamin B12, and where my journey started, why I'm so confident and why I'm so passionate about the right products is in my own journey, I learned that so many products and vitamins and supplements are just they're not given to you in the correct form, or they're really marketed to you in a way that just gets you to buy and make you think that they're working for you. But for instance, B12, so many people get a B12 shot or they need vitamin D in the winter. Well, B12, I learned from me learning this, it doesn't get absorbed by the gut. I used to swallow B12. You need to take that sublingually. But that's like when most people can relate to this, why their last hour of playing, all of a sudden they're just not hitting the shots they know they physically can make, but they're losing a little bit of focus. Well, what I've learned is B12 gives you that focus. It's like electrolytes for your brain transmission. And when you're making so many choices, we don't realize it throughout the game. And we beat ourselves up the last hour. Oh my gosh, I sucked. It's like, well, don't beat yourself up. You used up all your resources. You played really hard. And there are ways that if you didn't eat a half a Cliff Bar, or you need to take some fats, proteins, and carbs to keep those resources replenished mentally, just as much as physically. Yes, electrolytes are important. Yes, protein is important in these basic things. But when we're playing for 4 or 5 hours a day, no matter how old you are, eventually your body breaks down and injuries occur. It happens in Major League Baseball. It happens in NBA. It happens in these are professional top tier athletes that have been training their whole life. They have nutritionists. They're already taking the right, but their still bodies are breaking down. So we just are here to, really just let people be aware of it, recognize that there are risks, and then there are solutions to these problems that you can try. And everybody's different. I don't want to say that everybody needs what we give you, but a lot of people are taking multiple vitamins and supplements without even pickleball involved.
Mhm.
As you get older, you want to make sure you're better off being safe than sorry. You want to make sure you're on top of your game, and just having that knowledge and knowing you're doing what you can do that's available to you is really like almost like just a self-confidence measure where,
Yeah.
I've taken the time to, I've invested in my health before I invested in my game. My health is more important. I have to have good health to be able to have a good game. And imagine if we could give you better health and improve your game.
Yeah, and I wanna zoom out for a second because you talked about a couple of key things that I've just been noticing out and about at different pickleball courts and being around older people, having older friends, and I just keep hearing, "Oh, enjoy it while you're young," or, "Oh, I used to look like that and be fit like you are now," and, "Oh, just wait, you're gonna hurt so bad," and you know what? I don't accept any of that as truth because you know what? I'm doing all the preventative stuff, and I am taking care of my body, and I'm taking care of my general health by meditating, doing yoga, eating good, taking my supplements and stuff that Chris sends me through INSTADINK. And so I'm not accepting that as my reality. And I just really want there to be a paradigm shift in the health and wellness sphere that just because you get aging and you're getting older doesn't mean your health has to deteriorate. Yes, naturally, your organ reserves won't be as high when they're younger. Yes, your hormones may decline slightly, but you have so much control over the aging process. What you do and the decisions you make with nutrition and exercise and stress management, all these different things vastly affect the aging process. And I've read plenty of books on aging and I understand like the hallmarks of aging, and I'm doing things now in my 20s to delay it, right? I'm going to age. There's no stopping chronological aging, but there's things that you can do to lower your biological age or how old you.
I didn't want to cut you off, but we talked about the first call.
Yes.
Reverse aging. People have the ability to do that. And it
Yeah,
starts
it,
with
it's possible. It's possible. And yes, that doesn't mean we're immortal in the sense of our physical bodies will die. I believe, energy is not created and destroyed. Our energy and our spirits will live on forever, but this body's such a gift. So how do you want to take care of it? What kind of fuel do you want to give this vessel that you've been gifted? And also from a mindset standpoint, if you have the mindset that and you're telling your nervous system and your cells, like our cells are always eavesdropping on the conversations we're having with ourselves, like in our heads. If you're telling yourself, as I get older, oh, I'm just expecting to lose my hair and get wrinkles and lose muscle and just be ugly and unhealthy and my joints are gonna hurt. That stuff will become your reality. Your thoughts really do become your reality. And I'm not choosing to accept a lot of the realities that older people are trying to project onto me, but I see it all the time. And a lot of it I think is just out of regret for not like taking care of their bodies, but this is why like these kinds of conversations are so paramount because the sooner you start and get on this health and wellness train and self-care regimen stuff like InstaDink and just taking care of your body with the right supplements and the right products and the right mindset, it's amazing the energy that you can feel. It's amazing what you can do in life because you just have so much more energy and abundance to pour into different areas of your life and different people in your life. So you just feel like you're really a better person all around. So it's really far beyond just pickleball and being able to play this game a long time. It's do I want to have a long health span? Do I want to maximize my time on this earth? And do I want to be able to be healthy playing with my great great grandkids? And that's something that I want to be and I want to do when I'm older.
and yeah, you touched on something of like why InstaDink has pickleball products in there mainly in our subscription box is I want to just to bring awareness to people through pickleball.
Yeah.
Delivering the pickleball products is one thing, giving you the products to try and test. And I believe that every single person can transform their life, no matter what,
Yeah.
no matter where they are. I don't care if they're 73 years old or 83, they have the ability to become happier and healthier by
Yes.
just taking accountability and saying, yes, you can, instead of giving up in this mentality of, no, I can't, no, I can't, where I'm almost like, well, if you get my stuff, you're getting this stuff to try. And you're,
Yes.
and there is, and hopefully we use pickleball almost as my introduction to this journey, that pickleball has transformed your life. Okay, INSTADINK provides you the basics you need with pickleball, and here's a couple solutions. And all of a sudden they start to recognize, wow, I have the ability to make changes in other aspects of my life to really take this to the next level and make a bigger transformation. And that's why majority of our core products are not just pickleball specific. These are coming from triathletes, ultra marathon people, top health and wellness recommendations, from people that it's worked for. And I just want people to know that there's a solution. There's no such thing as problems. There's just solutions.
Yeah, I think focusing on the solutions is always a great idea. And just to kind of wrap up the conversation and scope out a little bit and talking about community and specifically the pickleball community, because we talk about it a lot, just how special it is and how it's still very intimate. Obviously, it's growing rapidly, but especially in the pro tour, you see a lot of the same faces. And even when you're playing amateur tournaments locally, you're seeing a lot of the same people who are just into the game, and everyone got into it for different reasons. But what role do you see InstaDink playing in the pickleball community? And that could be the pro tour and also just amateur athletes as well.
Well, I mean, our mission is to just make stronger people, stronger communities. And when you do that, every community in literally the world changes. And I think that this sport has such a close-knit family structure. For instance, like we've started a pickleball project here in Mexico, in Guatemala, we're supporting Uganda. And this is from our community of people. And with the pro tour growing like crazy, and there's going to be more and more attention. When I say our goal is to make an impact on 1 billion people's lives, it's because that these pros like yourself, we can make improvements and start programs in different countries, and that has a generational effect. And the information, not just our supplements, vitamins, that's like one piece, but the pickleball community that's involved with InstaDink and the other people that are really doing well by doing good projects all over the world and country, is when we aggregate those people together and we put a bunch of givers together.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just pro pickleball. I want to, I support it. I love the pro players. They tested most of our products, and we want to support them in any way. But I want to support them and to show them their value is way bigger than even this pro pickleball. They have the ability to go to an underprivileged school we started 3 years ago, and be the guest speaker and say a couple key words that change and transform these people's lives. Every tournament you guys go to do a little Q&A with a school nearby, and go to a nursing home or whatever it is, an old person, a rehab facility. And that's what motivates me, is this value that we have to share within the community with all these resources. You have your own values to share. There's every person in pickleball has their own value to share. And that's where I see this ability to really change the world. And I mean, Steve Kuhn says he thinks pickleball can change the world. I know it will.
Yeah, I know it will too, and it already has in so many ways. And it's really cool just to hear everybody's story and how pickleball just is so near and dear to their heart, because I feel like a lot of people just get into sports because their parents made them try sport and stuff. But pickleball is a lot of second time athletes. It's a lot of people finding a second career, a new passion. So it's your story is so unique. So thank you for sharing and some of your insights. I see you as a visionary in the sport. I know I told you that before.
Yeah.
Just to wrap up here, Chris, I want to give you a couple rapid fire questions. So first thing that comes to mind when I ask you, you don't have to think too long about it. All right. So who would be your dream pickle partner? You could go play in a tournament right now. Could be
Living or
celebrity,
dead?
could be hot,
Anybody? Anyone?
anyone. Yes, dead or alive.
I want to do one of each.
Okay.
Wayne Dyer would be the one that I would want
Yeah.
to play.
Oh my gosh. I love that you said Wayne Dyer. That's great.
He is. He got into tennis. He played tennis. He ran 7 miles every day for over 20 years.
I didn't know that about him. Wow.
He's just he's what's changed my life and how I view the world and who I am as a person
Mm,
and
yeah.
my spiritual being and eternal
Yes.
being. And he's my go. And then Derek Jeter would be the one
Derek
that would
Jeter.
come out.
Yeah.
Jeter, my dad's the biggest Yankees fan ever. We watched every game. He watches every game. We went to Jeter's last game that he ever played. It was like the family. It was like one of my best memories of life. And it's not just that though. He's just the best leader. He would be my number one go-to mentor in person. Just I love his Turn 2 Foundation, and he's the GOAT.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. And favorite dessert. Doesn't have to be healthy.
That's from living in New York City.
Yeah, New York City, a lot of choices in New York.
Strawberry cheesecake.
Strawberry cheesecake. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the best nickname you've ever gotten from somebody or that you came up with yourself? I know I have one for you.
I have a couple, but
Okay.
they're
Can
not
you share
the
a couple?
greatest. I mean,
Yeah. What are a couple you've gotten?
I just really like. I come from a small town, okay, with more cows than people. We had two streetlights when I graduated high school. We now have one. And when I lived in Manhattan and worked on Wall Street, I would go to this little dive bar called Blarney Stone, and I was like the guy that would come in with my 3-piece suit every day, and it was all the construction guys from the World Trade Center.
Okay.
And I was like, I felt way more comfortable and boys with them, and they just called me the Wolf. I'd walk in and they'd go,
The Wolf.
Wolf,
The Wolf of Wall Street.
the Wolf, because I was the Wall Street broker. They hung out at the construction bar.
That's so funny. I love that. Okay. Awesome.
Not the proudest nickname, but
It's okay. It's a good one. All right. And last one. What's your number one supplement of choice? So if you were on a desert island, you can only take one supplement for the rest of your life. What would it be and why?
oh, it's 100% perfect amino, essential amino.
Here it is. I knew you were going to say that.
Well,
Amino, everybody, essential amino acids. And no, we didn't plan this, but these are the essential amino acids that you'll find in an INSTADINK box. And Chris was kind enough to send me plenty, which I'm sharing with my friends.
it's the number one. So you see protein in every product. Protein is so important. I learned all about protein and how protein gets broken down and turned into amino acids, and then it's utilized and the most efficient source is eggs. And literally there's studies that a lady traveled across the desert just on amino acids. I mean, it works for your brain, your heart, your organs. Every single cell in your body needs protein, and these essential amino acids are really game changing for my mental health, my physical health. I got rid of my tennis elbow, and
Yeah.
that'd be the number one.
Yes. No, my number one, I've been taking it for like 5 years now, and I recommend it to every single one of my clients. So big essential amino acids.
Is perfect amino?
Perfect amino what?
No, what's the number one you said you've been recommending for 5 years?
Essential amino acids, just in
What?
Yeah, I've been recommending them because I've been taking them myself for 5 years. So I experimented with them for like a year or two, and then once I really saw the benefits, I was like, okay, I gotta tell my clients about these. I told my family, my friends, and did so much more research on them specifically, and more is coming out. So, well, there you have it, folks. I also call Chris the Aminos Godfather. That's another one of his nicknames that he forgot about. It's a newer one, but Chris is the Aminos dealer, the Godfather, Amino Godfather. Well, thank you so much for talking, Chris. I really enjoyed our discussion, and I can't wait for people to try INSTADINK, try the products, and for you to just get feedback on everything. as far as that goes, because I see the value in it, and I am obviously a supporter of you and a supporter of InstaDink all the way.
No, I appreciate it so much, Austin. I wish I knew as much as you did at 24 years old about health and wellness. So I think I want to help you share your knowledge with the world, and that's
Let's
why
let's
I
do
love
it,
talking.
man.
All
Yes.
right, brother.
All
Thanks
right.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Yep.